I'm trying to see where my people at. I'm trying to see where my people at. Congrats to all the big cities who are reopening. We in the back state. People are going outside. We are entering summer in a safe and healthy way. So I get it. I get it. Today is for my VIP patrons, but I guess we outside. It's cool. I'll catch y'all all on the rewatch. It's looking like it's just me today. What's up, patrons? Thank you so much for giving extra effort into this content with your time, with your financials, and supporting me as a creator. It does not go unnoticed. I am so grateful. I am so appreciative of you each and every exclusive live stream. Thank you for always joining me on YouTube as well, each and every Monday and Thursday. I really wanted to tackle something complex today. I wanted to tackle something challenging. And you know what? In looking at film, which is ran by white, cishet men, Stanley Kubrick is one of the directors that is deemed one of the historic greats, right? Like one of the auteurs. I want to use a fancy word, one of the auteurs of film. And I wanted to know why. I wanted to explore why he is so regarded as the top tier film director. And with everything that I want to do, the writing and the filmmaking and all of that, I want to understand what makes someone great. And so I've never quite been an avid viewer of a Stanley Kubrick film. I did see Eyes Wide Shut. I did see Clockwork Orange. And I did try to watch, what's the one with the apes? Man of the Apes, Apes of the World, something like that. And, you know, when people die, he passed in 1999. When people die, there's this sudden resurgence of how great they are, right? And what their work meant. But I really wanted to see if this is just film bros holding each other down, especially in memoriam, or is he actually that dude? And it was so funny because as I was watching Eyes Wide Shut, the first time I watched it, I was like, what am I watching? And it's long, and I'm like, I don't get it. And it feels like people are just talking with this undercurrent of suspense. And this felt a little on the perversion side, that I was just like, okay, this is just like hyper artsy, like sex film. Like we just wanted to like get niggas naked. Like I was just really trying to figure out like what makes this film so great. But here's the thing about what makes this film so great and why Stanley Kubrick is that guy. What he's able to do is to take these high level concepts and themes and make them appear so plain that the conversations that he's having nearly disappears. And so that's what happened on my first watch. His themes and what he was attending to nearly disappeared, so much so that I was like, what are we talking about and why are we here? Did a little background research, watched it again, and I was like, oh shit. Oh, like wow, like oh. And that's, we're going to break down all of those themes today. Hey, Mara, me and you inside. Let's do it, baby. Is you ready? Thank you for being here. Tap in, tap out whenever you feel. But I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna give it my all for everyone on the rewatch, because you paid for it, you want it, you're gonna get greatness right here. Eyes Wide Shut. A New York City doctor embarks on a harrowing night-long odyssey of sexual and moral discovery after his wife reveals a painful secret to him. And once we figure out what this secret is, y'all, we have so much to talk about. Of course, written and directed by Stanley Kubrick, adapted from the novel Dream Stories, a story from the 1960s. And here are some of the themes that we'll be tackling today. Eyes Wide Shut, the title itself, right? AKA the space in between being awake, conscious, aware, and that dream state, the unconsciousness, the oblivious, right? And in that, we're also going to be looking at sex. There are these extremes between lust, versus this desire or temptation. We're going to be going back and forth between that. Within the realm of sex, that does break down to gender. What is the male gaze and how does that affect women? And when women discover or enter a female gaze towards sex, how does that affect men? We also have a conversation of power, the war between the elite, wealthy, and everybody who ain't. How is money anchored to power, which then breeds to men, which then breeds to sex? What am I talking about? Let's see some opening shots, okay? Let's see some opening shots. We see the very first image where a woman, top left, is getting undressed. Something's happening. And this shot itself is so wide and it's so far away from her and her body. It feels disconnected and it feels very much not intimate, right? She is to be observed, consumed. We are watching her. We are consuming her nudity and her undressing. This is obviously Nicole Kidman, one of the largest stars of the 90s, who is playing the character Alice Harford. Now, even though there is a mirror in the room, we do not see her face. We do not see a reflection. We are simply consuming her body, AKA her nudity, AKA her sexuality. So as we don't see her, this woman does not and cannot see herself. And as the story continues to open, we go to the bottom left. We see a man in a similar setting, but he's in the dark. And conversely to the woman, he has a reflection and he turns around and walks directly to us, to camera, and he has a face. So we can see him. He has an identity. This, of course, is Tom Cruise, another one of Hollywood's other largest stars in acting, especially of the 90s. And Tom Cruise plays William Bill Harford. Now, this man, conversely to the woman who's standing in one place, is moving with this urgency and this purpose, right? And the direct contrast between how we saw the woman and how we saw the man visually already sets an imbalance between man and woman for the audience. So as we dive into dialogue between the two, William says to Alice, his wife, "Honey, have you seen my wallet?" And her response, "Isn't it on the bedside table?" This man, as soon as the movie starts, is concerned with money. And where can we find his money? By the bed. What happens in that bed? Okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Sex. It is sex. So themes we can start exploring here, questions we can already start asking. Does he have access to his beautiful wife because of the power of his money? And which one is his priority, his wife or his money? And I thought it was so funny that his name is literally Bill. Like he's literally a wad of cash. Bill. So now these two, as we've seen them in completely separate frames, in separate rooms, and at separate points of this opening, they finally join. And the first thing that Alice asks her husband, Bill, "How do I look?" This is her version of power and value. I have to be beautiful for you, right? But he doesn't see her. He don't even look. Yeah, you're fine. You're beautiful. So this couple begins in two separate places, and as pleasant and as courteous, as aligned as they appear to be, they don't even realize they're on two separate pages. And we're already starting with our color theme as we see the woman red and the husband, the man, blue. As we dive further in, we're going to explore what these two colors will mean. Mara says, "I never understood crazy white folk films, so I need your help, but I watched all of his works." I got you, Mara. I got you. It's me and you, baby. It's me and you. Let's do it. So in my research, one of the things I found behind this movie was the repetitiveness of the Christmas trees. And this Christmas tree appears in so many scenes throughout this film. And in first watch, I'm like, it's Christmas. I didn't pay it any mind, as many of us viewers would. But I did read a theory about the Christmas trees and why this may be so important. Because if it weren't, why would we build it and have it occurring in every scene? Well, let's look at it. One of the largest themes of this movie is lust and desire, consuming sex, right? Wanting it at your will. So why Christmas? Well, Christmas is the season of ultimate consumption and pleasure, spending money, eating all the foods, diving into all of your relationships, family, coworkers, partners, or avoiding them nonetheless, children, right? This is a season of ultimate consumption and ultimate pleasure, even if that pleasure is a lie. We see all these families suddenly taking Christmas holiday photos in their pajamas, sending it out to everybody. Everybody got their Christmas post going up. It's joy, 'tis the season. And that may not be true. That happiness as it appears may not be true in their real life. So this is the movie that really excited me, because often we speak about red. For so many films and TV shows that we've dissected together, red has often meant danger, warning, caution, stop. And finally, it means something different here in this movie. We finally get to explore what else it could mean in this film. Red equals passion and lust. It's sexy. And if you notice while watching this, hella women are dressed in red. Hella women are dressed in red. We're going to find out why that is, right? So these are the themes starting to come up. So when we have consumption and greed and ultimate pleasure, it's coded in the season of Christmas. He's using that as a tool to deflect what he really talking about. Okay, Kubrick. So let's talk about temptation. Let's talk about it. In this film, Kubrick plays with extremes of sex, lust, and desire. So at this Christmas party, the couple attends, but as soon as they take a break from each other, they split into different realms, right? So Bill is called by his friend who's with a model, who's with the sex worker who ODs on drugs. And Bill, while she's completely nude, is utmost professional in bringing her back to life. So what do we have? We have zero desire with 100% lust. As an audience, and as these men are in the room with the sex worker, she's 100% naked. Bill is doing his job. He don't even see it. Zero desire, 100% lust. Alice is backing off from a dancer who's like really flirting with her. He's asking like, let's just do this upstairs. What up? Nah, I'm married. I'm good. 0% lust with 100% desire. She's drunk. She's breathing all in his mouth. They look like they about to kiss. She's doing the most. You could get it, but nah, you can't get it. 0% lust with 100% desire. And both are rejecting these temptations because they have an obligation to each other in marriage. So when this couple joins again, they're back at home, they have sex. But how do we see them? We see them in a mirror. Even though their bodies are connecting, their minds are not here. What if I would have had that model down at the party? What if I would have had that man upstairs who I met down at the party, right? 100% lust, 0% desire. Wow. Wow, right? So I was unsure here. This is about 20 minutes into the film. I was like, I think this is the inciting incident. This is the moment that spurs this couple and changes the journey that they're on. So I thought it was here, but I want to introduce something else as we move on, right? The couple who are unknowingly disconnected from each other will explore their options to consume sex outside of each other. And that was the little nucleus here, right? They have temptation. What are they going to do with that? And how will that affect them as a married couple? So let's see. We move further into the film, and now we have some sort of inversion from where we started. Okay, right? We're complete opposite from where we started. We're watching this couple do their day-to-day activities. Who are they when they are at work? In the beginning, we saw Will, we saw his face, we saw him moving with urgency, right? But now when he's at work, we're starting to see the back of him as he's engaging more nude women, as he's doing his job, as he has these women working for him. We're watching him kind of maneuver through that world in the complete and visual inversion of how he started. Same for Alice. In the beginning, we saw only the back of her. We had no idea that she even had an identity, but suddenly we see the fullness of her when she engages her work as a wife and a mother. So I wanted to ask why that is, right? Well, this again is about the male gaze, how they see women as servants for their pleasure and their idea of sex. So when Alice is naked in the beginning, we see red, that passion, that lust, right? She's getting undressed. This is the male gaze. I want to consume her body like that. But as a wife and a mother, she turns blue, this neutral, cold color, right? Because her value and her identity is tied up in being a housewife. She has no identity in sex because sex is for her husband. Ooh. She disappears when she's sexy. She appears when she's fulfilling her role as a woman, wife, mother. Whoa. Whoa. I also have this mindset that Will sort of disappears when he's at work as this prestige doctor, because this profession earns him all of these like social perks and access to sex and access to beautiful women, right? He got the money, he's the big dog. These women are coming for him. They want him. And he gets to sort of hide behind that identity. And so when he disappears as he becomes this doctor, we may not know who he is. And here's the gag. Does he even know who he is? Do men even know who they are outside of the confines of masculinity? Besides you having power, money, and beautiful women, who are you? Do they even know? My vote is no, they don't. They fucking don't. So another color appears, and I wanted to pay attention to the color white because that happens a lot in this film as well. And what I discovered, or what I want to mean, is that white is a color of service. It's women serving men. And even when we were at the Christmas party in the beginning, the pianist and the band were all in white. They are of service to the elite in the form of entertainment, right? So here's what's funny about that. That pianist who Will knew because he failed out and didn't become a doctor like Will is paid less, AKA you don't have as much money as me, AKA you don't have as much power as me, AKA that's a female trait. Ooh. The pianist and the band are here to serve us. They serve the elite. You are for our consumption via power versus the women who are of our consumption via sex. Oh, wow. Wow. So I wanted to dive further into the color blue, this sort of neutral color, right? The anti to lust, sex, and desire. We're also, again, playing the themes of being awake and being in this unconscious state. And I believe this blue also represents this dreamlike state, the unconsciousness, the things we are not aware of. So if you have Alice in blue as the wife and the mother, she is unconscious to how her image and her identity belongs to the male gaze, right? And I think men pretend to be and are unconscious to how they're completely following the social construct of what it means to be masculine. They don't even know that they're following these rules that, number one, don't have to be applied, and number one, hurts everyone involved. Right? So, Red, what are the things we are aware of, and how are we utilizing these structural vehicles to get these ultimate forms of pleasure? And Blue, how are we participating in all of this without even knowing it? Where do we belong? Let's talk about grooming. Now, this was interesting. Let's talk about the grooming. Mara said, a word? A word? Yes. Let's talk about grooming. Alice's daughter is being groomed by her mother. Now, it was really interesting, right? Because just before this scene, Alice and her daughter were enjoying this sort of Christmas time. Her daughter's eating and looking at this Christmas cartoon, right? Follow me. We were just watching the daughter eating and gazing at this Christmas cartoon, AKA ultimate forms of pleasure. Meanwhile, Bill is at work as a doctor who is asking a young boy, are you looking forward to Christmas? Remember, Kubrick is using an anchor to talk about trying to say what he ain't really saying. So a girl is ingesting and consuming Christmas, and a boy is being asked, are you looking forward to Christmas? One will consume and one will be consumed. And can the parents see the patterns? You're getting ready, you're preparing your daughter to be beautiful and to be consumed by Christmas, to please. And Will is showing this boy, get ready to consume, to have that pleasure, right? I also noticed here that when Dr. Harford is a doctor, he is in white. And I wanted to just throw that on you. I would love to hear in the comments, either now or in the rewatch, why do we think Dr. Harford is in white? Who is he in service to? What do we think that white could possibly mean for him as a man? Chew on it, think of it, we're gonna move on. I've said this before because I've experienced it in my personal life, and I also read tons of articles and tweets from womanists. And we understand as women, especially Black women, that there's a war in sex. So let's talk about it. There is a war occurring in sex. So the couple comes back together and something really disturbs them here, right? They begin to challenge each other on what the fuck they was down doing at that Christmas party. Who was you with? Who was you talking to? And what was that about? Because we're married. So what was that? They do that to each other, right? And right as they're having this intimate moment, they split in this argument, causing these two frames that we see here on the left. So we have Alice next to Blue, this unconsciousness. She's trying to figure out the undercurrents of what her husband Bill is talking about. Alice tells Bill that there was a man at the party who wanted me. He wanted me upstairs quickly. What's up? And Bill found pleasure and power in the fact that another man wanted his wife. And we see that amongst men now and today, right? Oh, watch him. Oh, all my fellas want my girl. My dudes want my girl. They see that as power, even when they're beefing. What Tupac said to Big at the studio, I fucked your wife, right? That's like that's their beefing thing, is that property of their woman. So Bill is here like, damn, another man wanted you. I kind of like that. Like, hold up. Hold up. What if I wanted him? Do you think about that at all? And here's here's again why she's in blue, because she ceases to exist in areas of sex because her sex is about him. So Bill does not see Alice with independent agency and desire in the space of sex. She is a tool for men's pleasure. She's in white. She is of service. She is under the male gaze. This is this blue unconsciousness. She don't even know what war she's in, but she's trying to fight. She is trapped under the male gaze. However, we have Bill in red, right? This is what we are fully lusting. He is talking about his passion. This is what he is consciously aware of. The only reason why Bill didn't sleep with those two models who wanted him down at the Christmas party was because he's married. But you have the desire though. Like, why am I the reason that you didn't F them? If I'm your wife and you're fully invested in me and you're fully passionate about me, wouldn't your desire disappear? The problem is you still had your desire, but you just didn't do it because you got that ring on. What's up? Let's talk about it. Alice is of service to Bill as she's dressed in white. Conversely to Bill, who is dressed in black, because he wields the power. He wields the eliteness. And when Alice displays a desire for sex, when she sits on the floor and was like, actually, I really wanted to fuck somebody else. Now Bill got a problem. Now he's in a war. Now he's in fight mode. And men do this, don't they? Didn't we see it when Cardi too sexual? I don't like that city girl thought shit. I like girls like Tierra Whack, and I like women like Missy and Nina Simone. How come girls ain't like that no more? Men get real upset and they start a war when women want sex. Why does that bother them so much? Now that Bill hears Alice say, I wanted to jump on somebody else's bones, now he got a problem. The fact that Alice had the agency to choose another man becomes his war. That's the big secret. That's the big secret that turned him on his ass. Wait, you want to fuck somebody? Wait a minute. I thought your vagina was for mine. Like what? What, baby, what? And in this 2.5-hour movie, we watch Bill sort of go on this sexual escapade in this like moral revenge against his wife who wants sex. So we watch him engage all these women because, okay, well, if she wants sex, maybe I want sex, but then what's my obligation to my marriage? And he's getting caught up. And it don't even got to be like that. His sexual exploration happens as this moral revenge to his own wife. And this happens in life, right? As the men in this film do, they cause violence to women who also demand sex, even kill them. Mara says, bloop, face cracked. Her wants aren't considered in the equation and weren't at all. Pathetic. So let's talk about the unknown, the unconscious, blue, versus the truth, the awareness, the lust, red. As a doctor, Bill goes to see a client who he was oblivious was attracted to him. And it's so interesting because Alice just told him in the scene before, women want you. And he's like, no, they don't. Like, what? Ding, ding, ding. Women fucking want you. You think your clients are sitting there not thinking about your dick when you feeling on them and they naked in front of you? No, what? I'm a doctor. They just need health care. What? Ding, 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 ding. Look at the client getting down on his mouth. Blue. He was oblivious. Or was he? He was oblivious. Or was he? But after this client, he goes out and directly finds a sex worker. Red. We know the truth. We want to fuck. Red. His wife is right. You have the desire, but you have to figure out when and where you're going to act on it. But I want you to get under why you don't act on it. I want you to have that, right? So as he's engaging in this sex worker, we see this lusty Red. But he ends up not going through with it. He doesn't sleep with this sex worker because he thinks of his wife. And here's what's interesting. These two women resemble physically his wife. He has these beautiful redheads, right? So this conversation and this argument that they had kind of shook him up. What is she asking me for? Where am I not arriving as a husband? What really is the problem in our marriage under all these pleasantries that we're constantly performing? Is he in search of what he can't access with his wife and these other women? And as you can see, this wife visually meets these two women in the middle, right? His redhead, this blue. There's something that needs to be discovered in his marriage that he's trying to find in these other women who reflect her. And you can see Alice is watching someone serve someone else on TV. This servant has a white jacket on. All of these parallels. So here's where I thought, go back just a second. Here's where I thought this part may have been the inciting incident. Not when they come back after the Christmas party and have sex. That happens about 20 minutes into the film. But this argument about their temptations and desires may really be the inciting incident. So you guys tell me what you think. But this argument happens 25 minutes into the film. And I think this argument really sets them off into their separate journeys as they decide how lust and desire affects them as a married couple. I think this one is it, but I wasn't sure. You guys let me know. But let's jump ahead to the midpoint. Again, this film is 2.5 hours long. We ain't got the time. Okay, we do not have the time. At the midpoint of the film, Bill sneaks into this elite party where wealthy men are buying sex from beautiful women. And the gag is, Bill doesn't belong there. Bill doesn't belong there. Chew on that for a second. Just hold it, right? He finds this elite secret society, AKA, ding, 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 the secret of our society. Every man is wearing the mask because every man is pretending they're not buying sex in all aspects of their lives. And Jasmine Sullivan told you that on her latest album. Y'all all buying sex, whether or not you want to admit it. And this right here is the power structure of society, especially when it comes down between men and women, and we're addressing the binary standard that society is operated by. Eyes wide shut. We, society, are oblivious to this social structure. Or we do see it, but we ain't doing anything about it. Eyes wide shut. I see it, but who has got the time? I'm going to work. I have to survive in the structure that y'all built. I hate it, but what am I going to do to destroy it? Like to survive, I need to operate within it, right? This is, and here, leave it up to me to tell it. This is what men would be doing if they had the money and power. They want sex to be easy, and they want it with the most beautiful women that they can find. That's an exchange. I have the money and power. I'm exchanging it for your beauty and your sex. But they're not allowed to say it out loud. Put that mask on, fellas. Be the secret of that society. Put the mask on, fellas. So whether these women are your wife, your girlfriend, a first date, or an actual sex worker, men are using their money as power to access sex from women of all social statuses. or romantic statuses. And women play the game, right? You see this woman in a mask, completely naked, approaching Bill. Women can access better and more easeful and even elite lifestyles because beauty and sex is their value. It's how this society was structured. That leads to fat phobia and pretty privilege and all that stuff, disability. It leads to all those fragments because society will literally treat you as you are not human and will not help you if you're not beautiful and providing sex. That's terrible. That's terrible, right? But women are leveraging their objectivity by other men to survive in this system. They have to play by the game of patriarchy to win. You try to opt out of these structures and see how easeful your life is or isn't. It's literally a survival mode, right? So I'll leave you guys with this to discuss on the rewatch and in the comments. There's so much that we can explore here. Why doesn't Bill belong there? Why does this woman sacrifice herself for him? We discovered that this woman is actually Mandy, the woman he saved at the beginning in the Christmas party who was ODing. Bill exchanged his lust for professionalism to save her life. She repays him by exchanging her sex and lust to save his. She ejects herself from the patriarchy to save him. And that costs her. As you guys can see later in the film, that costs her, okay? So let's get back into this blue. Let's get back into the dream state. Let's get back into the unconsciousness. Let's talk about this nightmare that Alice has. So this masked mystery woman saves Bill as he explores this elite secret society super orgy of a night. And Alice awakes when he comes home, 4 a.m. She don't even question him. 4 a.m. And she has a nightmare of the exact party he just left. So as he's fully experiencing this in reality, Alice is experiencing the same exact thing in her dream state. But here's the gag. Through Alice's dream, Blue, she acknowledges that she's much happier without Bill, and he's actually causing all of the strife in their marriage, Red. We see how the room is covered in blue because she has this nightmare, but that nightmare leads her to a really deep truth about her husband and her marriage, Red, that red bed. And both this dream that she just had and that fantasy that she taught him earlier strips Bill of his power. You are not the end all be all because I want to have sex with these other niggas. And low key, I kind of don't want you right now. Oh, no, now hold on, listen, partner, I ain't no cheap thrill. I want other niggas. That tripped him up. That shakes him up. Mara says, I'll be your femme fatale because I have to survive too. Do save this man. Do save this man. They don't want to be saved. We're going to get into it, Mara. This dream and that fantasy she told him about earlier really fucks him up because low key, I don't want your ass. Okay? Oh, my single lady. Listen. Face crack. So there's another color that appears that I wanted to attend to. And it's the color yellow, which is also very prevalent in this film, yellow/gold, right? And as we've been discussing, I believe that this is fully representative of the system in itself, the system of patriarchy. This is the system that upholds the working society, right? We see that that secret society elite member in that fully gold mask and the red cloak. Look, I want sex. I paid for it. I'm rich. I deserve it. I get it now. He's fully immersed in the patriarchy, and he's wearing on his sleeve. Y'all hoes know why you're here. All right. Versus that mystery masked woman who has to wear this gold mask. She has to participate. And when she stood up to him and stopped participating, it cost her her life. They came after her. The system violently eradicated her, right? And we see her in this blue. She's removing herself from this male gaze and made a huge decision to save Bill, her own agency, her own independent thought, that blue. But I thought about the daughter and wife again, because this was the first time that yellow really appeared. And when we first saw yellow in this film, it was presented in the form of food. Sustenance, a need, survival, food for these two women, woman, girl. The yellow with Alice and her daughter are the yellow apples in the painting. And I can't believe it's not butter. And I think there's another yellow food object. I don't know if it's a banana or something. But the first time we saw yellow, it's food. As the daughter is eating, you have to do this patriarchy to survive, like your mama, right? We saw Bill go down to the Rainbow store. The Rainbow store provided him costumes so he can dress up to get into that secret society elite party. And when he comes back to return it, he has this yellow hallway. Men need this system of patriarchy for the privilege to access sex from beautiful women. They need it. That's why men are mad when women are choosing sex for themselves, because we're taking away that power. We're taking away that privilege. We're taking away that need for them to access us with giving little to nothing in return. Huh? And again, with the gold mask, with this mystery woman and this elite leader, the woman and the man, both parties must play. But one is winning, red, and one is losing, blue. Let's take a look at the other men in this film, because we done dragged Bill to hither to thither, okay? We done dragged Bill. Let's take a look at the other men, and this gets crazy. Watch this. Let's meet Rainbow Man. We're going to meet the owner of the store, the costume store that provides Bill his look to go into that elite social society. Now, I'm going to call him Rainbow Man. Rainbow Man helps Bill to get a costume for the secret society party and opens the store privately for Bill when Bill does what? Flash a wad of cash. I'll pay you. I know you closed. I know you're about to go home, but look at here. Give me what I want. So easily, because this happens between men, easily. Just like beautiful women, Rainbow Man becomes for sale for Bill. Once he saw that money and power, that man succumbed to him. Yo, you can have whatever you want. I open it up right now, sir. And opened and did, right? Let's dive deeper into Rainbow Man. The night that Bill comes into the costume store to get a look, Rainbow Man is enraged when he discovers his daughter is having an orgy sex behind that locked blue door. Top left picture. His daughter is back there right now with two dudes doing whatever she want to do. And for a moment in the scene, he's locked out and he's trying to get in and he's trying to, what the fuck is going on? And when he sees what's happening, he's enraged. When Bill goes to the party and comes back to return the costumes to Rainbow Man, something's real strange. Everything's fine. And he introduces Bill to his daughter as if Bill hadn't seen her before, and he's super pleasant and he's super helpful and nothing happened. Well, what happened? Rainbow Man decided, well, if you're gonna be sexy, daughter, how about we make you that, and sold her as a sex worker. He sells her as a sex slave to men, those same men that she was just in the room with. So when he discovered she was having sex and having orgies, he's enraged. But when he anchors her sexuality to fund him, he's fine. Catch this. Rainbow Man is only happy as long as he can control his daughter's sexuality. Even if that means he's the one directly putting her in danger, making her perform more explicit acts with more partners. So he was locked out of when she had agency over the sex that she wanted, Blue. He couldn't access it. But once, as a punishment and as a privilege to her body, uses her and sells his own daughter as a sex slave, he becomes the Blue. And he hides his operations from Bill. He keeps it on an unconscious level from Bill. Bill is like, what is going on? Why are you acting like y'all okay? We just had a crazy ass night yesterday. Don't worry about it. My daughter likes you, by the way. Hiding, anchoring his daughter as a sex slave from the world. Locked out of Blue, becoming the Blue. I will slap everybody in here. Stop playing with me. Like, stop playing. Mary said, what in the whole hell? Stop playing. I will slap every man in this movie. Stop playing with me, okay? Let's take a look at another man. Let's look at Bill's friend. His doctor, client, whomever, Bill's friend, right? So in the beginning, we saw this striking shot of when Mandy was ODing and the friend calls Bill like, you got to save her. Help me. Keep this a secret. She did too much. And this striking image of him standing in front of the genitalia of a naked woman painted on the wall. He got one thing on his mind, that puss. He got one thing on his mind, sex from women. Red. He's naked, the sex worker's naked, he's standing in front of a naked woman. We are aware of the lust that he has and the only thing he's focused on, red. Now as we come to this present moment, this friend tells Bill, I knew you was in that elite party because I was in there, but I'm a member. You're not. What the fuck are you doing? Now that we come to this new moment and we revisit the friend, we have some differences going on. The friend is in a different space. So as Bill is engaging all of these women throughout the film, he's starting to realize and acknowledge that women can independently have sexual agency. Right? So we see Bill colored in this yellow. He's realizing the world of patriarchy and realizing what men are doing to women and how they're anchoring sex in exchange for power. Well, what's up with the friend? Right? The friend is in yellow, but he's also surrounded by blue and by red. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Bill is challenging his friend like, this whole thing is fucked up. This whole system, what y'all doing with the girls, what happened to Mandy? Why did y'all kill her? Why can't I get in the club? Like, what are y'all doing? Low-key, I don't want to be here because this is real messed up. Like, what are y'all doing? Bill is challenging his friend. Now, his friend is like, you got to cut it out because you're about to mess up what? This system. Yellow. This patriarchy benefits men. We get to have sex with beautiful women as long as we have power and money. And whatever you up to, you snooping around it and messing this up, chill out. Yellow, right? Bill acknowledges something is messed up, that patriarchy. His friend is like, back up, I like it here. Here's the thing that happens in that scene too. The friend gaslights Bill. We ain't even really do nothing if you think about it. It was just a charade. It was actually all fake. Like nothing's even really going on, Blue. Go back to not knowing. Go back to being unconscious. This is all a dream. This ain't real, Blue. But really, what he want? He wants power and he wants sex, Red. So I'm gonna disillusion you over here with the Blue. It ain't real. Just go back home and forget all about it. So I can keep doing my thing, Red. Using that system to benefit him. And here's the gag. It takes this exact thing to destroy patriarchy. Men gotta challenge other men, not our fight. Bill is here challenging his friend like, y'all on some weird shit. And his friend is like, I need you to shut up and go home. You don't even know what you're talking about. This is it. This is the nucleus of the secret of our society, the secret society. This is it. This is it. So as we saw the friend in the beginning standing in front of a nude woman with one thing on his mind, look at the image that Bill is standing in front of right now. A fully dressed woman, still blurred, still can't see her. He still has work to do. But Bill is standing in front of a portrait of a dressed woman. Now, her cleavage is exposed and she's still blurred. Men got a long way to go, but he got somewhere, okay? He got somewhere. Go, Bill. And we discovered that it is real, in fact. Of course it's real. And this is how gaslighting works from the oppressed groups, right? They continue to make you feel crazy for calling it out. Like, what? You're the problem. You don't belong in this club. What are you doing and talking about? But he sees here, the mask is real and it's taking his spot where else in the house? His bed, next to his wife. Now, what does this all mean? Since patriarchy is very real, either men get in line and wear the mask, play your part, or have their social status and their family structures threatened and destroyed. Whoever came into his house and put this mask next to his wife, that was a threat. Try me if you want to, Bill. This structure in the secret society is happening, and we'll get you and your little dog too. We are watching Bill get woke in real time. That mask is in his place on his bed next to his wife. Put it on or get destroyed. Wow. Wow. So here we are. Let me fix my little nose cap. Talk my little nose cap off. Here we are in our final frame. Oh, the tables are turned there. The tables are turned. My have the turntables. Look at our couple. Back in red, fully immersed in Christmas, fully immersed in the idea of consumption, consuming pleasure. But someone has changed. Someone has changed. Miss Alice walking in front, leading with strength, clarity, comfort, not trying to impress nary a nigga. And look at her husband following, small, scared, fearful, shrunken, depending on her. Who? Alice in this final scene, this final shot, wearing her glasses outside the house, no makeup on, didn't put no effort into her hair, fully dressed. An F you to beauty standards and what used to be the epitome of her value to her husband and to society. She gave an F you to all of it. I'm outside with my kid. This is me. And who's going to do something about it? And in this complete reversal of how she was consumed by the male gaze, look how dependent he is on her. And so we are here, right? Complete full circle from how we met her, no identity, getting naked, no one's paying attention to her, to being fully, I'm the leader now, I'm the captain now. And in this final scene, he asks for her advice and tells her the entire truth of this whole game he thought he was playing. And you can see the colors here, right? Alice aligned with red, Bill aligned with blue. He needs to know, is this real? And what are we going to do about it together as a couple? You're trying to play games for these past 2.5 hours, though, but what are we going to do? Alice is fully diving and feeding into her own desires, her own lusts, her own pleasures. She will no longer be ignored. And so we have this final dialogue of the film. Bill looks into the eyes of his wife and he asks, what are we going to do? Alice, we fuck. Oh! Oh! It's about her, baby. She flipped that patriarchy on his head. And he's going to have to discover what that means for him, what that means for his idea of masculinity, what that means for his idea of power, what that means for his idea of sex, and where he now places himself in this entire structure. And because men are so afraid to find out where the identity lies outside of those structures, they keep the structure up. Fearful, shrunken, following the woman. We are the captains now. Don't know what to tell you. And this is why y'all are so afraid of us leading you and walking in front. You'll have to put in the work to rediscover who you are outside of the societal confines. You're not built for it. Go ahead, baby, put on that mask. I am JustLatasha. This was a Patreon exclusive live dissection. I am so happy to be speaking with you guys and giving you guys this exclusive content. I'm so happy to be communing with you and having your support, your love, and your energy. I thank you so much. Thank you to Mara, who held it down in the chat today. What's up? I will be back next month. I'm bringing on another fire guest. Wait for it. Y'all know, because y'all support me and y'all have been doing that for so long. I want to give you guys good love, real good. You give good love to me. Can't wait. I want to give you guys some fire content. So wait on that announcement. But I will be back tomorrow, Monday, 6 p.m. EST live for another dissection, just for a little half hour. And on Thursday with Piece of Scripts. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you guys live on YouTube tomorrow. And I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Bye.